Hello the internet, my name's Lara, welcome back to my channel. So, many of you may be aware that my Queen of the Night plant was blooming. I showed on one video or at some point that I had a number of buds that, for whatever reason, because plants, only one of those ended up sticking around and growing to full size. I don't know why. I didn't actually look into it yet, but, you know, I'm sure there's a reason. This is the first time this plant has ever bloomed, and this is definitely the first time I've ever had this plant bloom, so I was very, very excited. And I was keeping track of all kinds of things about it, like, I knew that they only bloomed at night, and so, you know, I would go out and be like, oh my gosh, is it blooming today? And last night it finally did bloom, and so I'm going to show a bunch of that stuff to you guys. I took time-lapse video of it during a couple days and evenings because I wasn't sure when it was going to bloom, because I had never, I've never had one bloom before. And then I did get time-lapse of it actually opening, which I think is really cool. And so I'm obviously taping this intro after the fact. I'm going to go into some of the time-lapse video that I have. I'm going to show some of the earlier ones just because it was my first experience with time-lapsing. And so I got some interesting things. So I'm going to show a couple of those, and then there'll be the one where it's actually blooming. And then I'll probably put some of the pictures that I took when it was actually open. Is that what I think it is? The flowers on my Queen of the Night have been getting bigger. I had 4 of them, if you guys remember from the video, but one of them, I think it just kind of died. And then I've got that one, and then the other 2 kind of look like that. So they're getting bigger, but then this one looks kind of odd. Like it looks different from those. So I'm not sure. It's getting much bigger too. I don't know why, but it's very exciting. So this was my first attempt at a time-lapse video, and it's really far away from the bud. There's not really anything going on, but I just love the way the clouds look in the background of this shot. So that's why I'm adding it in here. I've also got the date on there. This obviously is a little bit closer. I changed the angle a little bit, and there is a lot of wind. So this is obviously less wind. You can see the clouds going in the background. I used this to be able to tell whether or not I was going to have enough light from the porch lights to be able to see the flower, and I pretty much decided no. And this is just a picture that I had that was, this is the size of the bud. It kind of figures. I have been trying to tape this thing around 8 o'clock every night because that's when they say that they open it. And right now, oh, that's too close. It looks like it's opening already, though. Didn't anybody tell you you're not allowed to open until nighttime? So I'm getting everything set up again, so that I can have my time-lapse going, because I really would like to have a time-lapse of this opening. The other problem is that it's so huge, it's pulling over the cage on which that's holding up the plant. So we're going to see how this works. So yay. This is some time-lapse immediately after that previous clip, and if you look in the background, very quickly, you'll be able to see a little bug crawling around, and that is just, I find, really, really interesting. You'll see a better shot of him in just a moment when this clip is over, but I left this clip in because I think it's so adorable that that bug is just climbing everywhere. This is what I go through to try and get you guys this footage. That right there is called an assassin bug, a wheel bug. Their bites are very nasty. It is currently on my camera, So I cannot mess with my camera in order to mess with all this crap without, I don't know, poking it with a stick or something. It's actually really kind of a pretty picture. I have to take a picture of that. But anyway, we're getting this set up. I am gonna capture this flower opening. Don't ever say I don't love you, because it is currently 1:40 in the morning, and I am down here because they said that this would be done blooming about midnight, and then I gave it an extra hour and a half. And now I am here actually filming this because I've seen pictures of them, but I've never actually, seen one up close or watched a video of one. But look at all the little, isn't that pretty? All the little bits that just pulled back in order for this to open. And this is how big it ended up being. Like, there's my hand over top of it. There's my hand next to it. It's like as big as my hand. It's bigger than my hand. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And just, I really am going to have to get some pictures of like close-ups of this because, oh my gosh. And who knows if I'll get one next year. But anyway, it grew off of, I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but while I'm doing this, I might as well. It grew off of, this was growth that existed last year. This is the new growth that I got this year. I know, like this entire thing, right? But this was from last year. I don't know how many years old this leaf is. But that's where it grew off of. It comes right out of the vein. Like that's it just came right out of there. And like you guys might have seen from earlier, I got, there were other petals. There was one that was coming off here. I can still see the vein. Sorry, it was coming off here. I can still see the vein where it came, and it was down on there. The other one. I'll have to go back and look. But there were other ones. Oh, it must have been right here. So you can see the vein that came out, and then it was there. And then that one fell off too. And I don't know why they fell off. They very quickly looked completely differently because you remember the video where I showed this to you. I was like, why does this one look so different from the other two? They just kind of fell off and died. I have no idea. That's apparently not completely uncommon. The smell is, it just occurred to me now, the smell is like awesome. It's really just a very sweet smell. Almost like a perfumey. I don't know if it smells like anything I can compare it to, though. Yeah, not really anything I can compare it to. But anyway, so I wanted to show you guys. And this plant is at least, I'm pretty sure this plant is at least 5 years old, if not older. My mom did a much better job with this than I did. And it really, yeah, it's really looking like it needs some water, which I'm not really surprised it just put out this huge bloom. But I'm going to check it in the morning. They said that they sometimes last until even 10 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't want to risk it. That's why I'm down here at, stupid hour, because I wanted to make sure that I got some pictures of it, some video of it while it was, fresh and beautiful and all that kind of good stuff. So, anyway, I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to take some pictures. And tomorrow morning, I might even do an outro. It'll be great. I hope you guys all enjoyed all of that. And this is definitely, a plant that on its own, it's not really exciting. Like, a lot of the plants that I like to grow are, they're pretty, when they're not flowering, right? And this is, gosh, I want to say, this is probably the only plant that I have that I specifically have it for flowering. It's not very attractive looking in the first place. I mean, they definitely have a unique shape. So for any of you who, are interested in Queen of the Nights, it really is, even though I only got one bloom, I only got the one bloom, it's really, really exciting, and it really, really is, oh my god, it was so gorgeous, and the smell was just amazing, and it was only the one, and I know, that if I keep this plant alive, eventually it will have multiple blooms. I mean, I can't even imagine that right now, but, many of these, and because, they won't all bloom on the same night, it'll be, and that's just amazing to me. My mother-in-law actually has one. I don't know how many years it's been alive, because the last time I saw it was before I was into plants, and I just thought it was this ugly thing in the bathroom. I mean, I knew it was a Queen of the Night, but it was just, big and gangly, and I don't know, I just was I did not see the beauty in it, and, then when I got mine, I talked to her about it, and she showed me some pictures of, the plant is probably about 4 feet tall, and all bushy, so it's probably multiple, possibly multiple plants in there, and just covered in blooms. So it must be fairly old, and she obviously takes pretty good care of it. So at some point, I might get to that, which is really kind of exciting. And so for any of you guys who do want, to try and do this, you can ask me some questions, and I will give you answers to the best of my ability. Obviously, I haven't really done anything all that special. I was actually looking into how to get a Queen of the Night to bloom, and online, and they were talking about different types of fertilizer you can in order to encourage it to bloom and all this kind of stuff. There was something about banana peels. I don't know. I didn't get very far in it, because then those blooms showed up. And then I was just yay. And one of them actually stuck around through no fault of my own. But anyway, if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more about that, go ahead and ask in the comments. I'm probably going to look into it a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to bloom again this year. But it might be nice to try and maximize the blooms for next year. It has put on a lot of new growth this year, which I'm really happy about. And so, yeah, next year might be really, really awesome. You guys can stick around until then. So, if you like this video, go ahead and like this video, and if you would like to stick around until my plant blooms again, yeah, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you very much for spending some of your time with me today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye-bye.